Greetings. We had to retrospectively record this as Murray goes through the grid, so try and multitask and pay attention to two things at once if you could, please. Basically, I had some audio problems. My audio muted for the Brazil race, and I don't want to leave you guys alone. So here we are, we're retrospectively doing this, and let's have some fun. We've got Benaldi and Marquez on the front row. Marquez actually gets, this is one of 3 times I think where Marquez is actually going to get a name shout. So you've got the Benaldis and the Prosts on row 2, and Mazzacane. Alonso's quicker than Marquez. Alonso's probably around Mazzacane's pace. You have Julian Button. Button's quite quick for this little group up front here. Frenson's quite quick. So Jos. What am I saying? Jos will hang with Jensen. Panis is the highest of the contenders, and he's got Hakkinen on his outside. So a lazy mid-pack, that's not going to do him any good. Raikkonen, Bertie is going to hold. Michael could do with getting ahead of Bertie, but Michael from 14th, what can he do? He's had an indifferent start to the season. What can he do here? Heidfeld, Barrichello starting 16th. Barrichello hasn't pulled up any trees yet. Ralph has he had a good second race. The Fisichella neither here nor there, probably just off the pace of his teammate. As we line up for the grid, Villeneuve, and then of course you have Montoya and Coulthard at the back, and Irvine sat in the middle there. So here we go, Interlagos. This, hopefully the director's going to sort himself out. Come on now, no bias. What we're sitting on him for? Here we go. Finally, who is that guy? Sack him. I don't think he works quite as efficiently at night, which is when I hear these races are recorded. So here we go, back to the front, Benaldi leading. And we always get this, and here we go, always get, for some reason we're looking at David, we get these close-up views of the cars. Look at that, and the Ferraris are off the track, and there goes the Benetton. And that looked like a Jaguar going wide. So I get to watch this as a spectator with you guys. Oh, and that Jaguar got pushed wide there. Was that Frenson? And then he's held up the BAR, and he's run wide again and almost collected the BAR. Michael was off the track again. And 3 abreast there. The side-by-side action, as you saw on PSL's videos, is relentless. Absolutely relentless. So the Minardis are starting to already, and look at Michael, crikey, he's making some places. Michael is past Frenson, I believe, with his teammate just getting stuck behind. Yeah, so Schumacher's made 3 places. Benaldi has taken advantage of the Minardi block. And look at this. Was that a BAR involved there with the Ferraris? It looked like Hakkinen's hit the back again. It's Coulthard, and there's a Jaguar off the track, and he almost pushed. Was that Coulthard into Montoya? And Michael is already on the back of the points. This looks like a good race for him, doesn't it? He's not messing around. As we get a look at the leader there, who's just got a bit of clear air. Here comes Trulli. I would have thought that Button is that Button right there. You see, on PSL's 2001 series, Button's very strong, but he's always starting in the top 6. With these guys, who are literally catching him in a matter of laps, the Ferraris, the Williams, always start right on the back row, and it's just impossible for them to consistently get through race after race with the nature of some of the circuits. But here you have a battle here, and ironically it's Button's teammate. Oh, and Ralph. Oh, that's Montoya, and he's gone wide. And what's happened here? Okay, he's recovered. And Villeneuve's on his roof. Villeneuve, wow, Villeneuve was on his roof. He got the Lewis Hamilton treatment. And I can't do a replay as I frustratingly try to find one. As it's taken me three races in, and I still haven't accepted there are no replays. It's hard enough without the lap counter. But Villeneuve got the full Hamilton Nürburgring '07 treatment there, didn't he? We didn't even see it. Where's the tractor? Check his pockets for 30 pieces of silver. So Villeneuve avoids a DNF because I can't DNF him there. He the big man upstairs, mate, just flipped Villeneuve back into relevance. So Michael Schumacher has filthily somehow got himself into the points. Oh no, but he's there. He's at the fringe of the points, and he's up into 7th. And he's in this little battle here. But goodness me, Bernardi's still leading this race, and there's a race win on it for him here. And this is the kind of thing he's capable of. He goes 2 races without scoring. He hasn't featured. Then boom, there you go. He would say after those 2 first races with I think, oh dearie me, Michael. Oh, and he almost lost it. He almost lost it there as I speak. But this is going to be the thing with him this season. Short, sharp bursts, isn't it? He's like a pulse rifle. He'll appear in short, sharp bursts, but he will also pick up some of them 4ths and 5ths that other people won't get throughout the season. So he's a threat. He has to be the favourite. His teammate is surprising me. Here's JPM and Villeneuve at the back after. Look, his T-cam isn't even damaged. He was on his roof. Goodness me, I wish I'd seen that. By the way, watch out for the goodness me thing, because that might be a little punchline. That might be a little what's the word I'm looking for? So Michael now is blitzing past the Minardi. And there isn't really any stopping him here. Jordan slightly off track. Verstappen's the next, and these guys are surely easy meat as they can't get past Bernardi, and Button is the guy who's really wasting the opportunity here. There he is, that sat in the podium. See, Verstappen's got a little bit of pace as well. There's Ralph. Ralph's making his way through the field, and you've got one of the BARs trying to follow. So that will be Panis. Rubens just can't really do anything. And as for the McLarens, so they're going well, but they don't. Montoya's still down in 20th. They don't pack run that well. Villeneuve actually nearly caught these guys up. So the McLaren seem of the top guns, even worse than the BAR, the McLaren seem the least tidy at getting through the field quickly. And they've got the pace to do it, so it must purely be aggression. You see a few times Michael will stick moves, he'll just throw it up the inside of someone from 2 car lengths back, and it kind of upsets them, gets them off the racing line. But the McLarens and Rubens don't do that. Oh, and there's Button, and he's almost sure he had to take action. Button's lost 2 places. Oh, and there's Ralph involved there with the Sauber. So is Ralph going to get himself on the... Ralph could negate a lot of what Michael does here, which would be fantastic. I did me when I do the 2002 one, I will try and be less biased. I think PSL's a Ferrari fan, isn't he? But I wouldn't have known it watching his series. He was really good, man. He was really good. But I'm not sure what his MO is. Does he record the races and then do the commentary? Because I try to do the commentary live, which means you're sounding a little bit more naive, a little bit more kind of like, you know, in the moment, whereas this retrospective stuff that I'm doing here is easier. As Michael drops past a Jordan. Yeah, when you do it live, you're kind of waiting for things to react to. But here, there's just stuff to talk about. And if it gets boring, Verstappen almost wiped out Frentzen. Yeah, then I can talk to you about some of my crazy ideas. 2002 though, I must just prepare the way. 2002 is crazy, and I did a race the other day and I couldn't keep up with it. And I'm not in the habit of, if something doesn't go well, just re-recording it. I'm in the habit of showing you the live work, the kitchen, what goes on in the kitchen, not just the shop front, which compared to PSL is pretty ragged anyway. But the race has just slowed down a little bit. We've got Mazzacane with Michael and Frentzen. Michael just charging around the outside. And Frentzen has just kept on the... Oh, look at that. You see that Michael has aggression on this game that others don't have. Yeah, I don't know if the audio tracking's quite low for the cars, but blooming heck did I record this loud. It was around about this race for 4 races. This is Spain, isn't? No, sorry, no, this is Brazil. So I think it was Brazil, Spain, and Austria. I have some slight audio problems with, and then we're back for Monaco for the rest of the season. So we're going to soldier through these 3 races. But these were good races. I mean, look at Michael. Michael's absolutely, he's made 10 places, and he's still battling with Frentzen, and he's got him. And so Mazzacane and Benaldi have to be sitting ducks to this guy. So he's already poking his little nose in there. So as Michael get this moved on down the straight and get off up the road after Benaldi, he's actually backed off. He actually backed off a little bit there. It can sometimes be it's truly he's battling with. Why did I keep saying Frentzen? See that Michael's dropped right back, and it's a bit of a quirk in this game. They can do this sometimes. There's a number of circuits, but we're not going to spoil anything. We also are going to try not to spoil what happened in when we do retrospective stuff. We'll try not to, especially if we're doing it in 2002 or 3. We'll try not to spoil the results from the season before. But it's difficult because you want to talk about who did what. Again, the McLaren's wide, and he's dropped to the back, and he's dropped behind Villeneuve. So Coulthard, you see, he can't come through the pack. And if you work it out over a season, if he did the offset thing where every other race he was at the front and he won every race, I guess that put you on 80-90 points, and kind of projecting that's close to being a title winner. As Michael runs wide, but I don't think it will happen. I think there'll be races where DC gets half through the field, and he won't do this finishing last, starting first, finishing last, starting first. It doesn't work like that. He might do it for a few races, but it will catch him up eventually. You can't really do it. You need to be scoring consistently, and it isn't just 6/7, 7ths and 8ths that are going to get it done for you. It's going to be above 5th and above that gets it done for you. So here's Michael. He's still stuck behind, and he's actually getting bogged down now because Button has got him back, and we're having this phenomenon where we're being stuck behind the one car in clear air. I think the reason that they can't get Mazzacane is because he is just far enough back from Benaldi to have his own clear air. He's not getting upset by the car in front. A lot of these passes happen. See, there's Benaldi, and you can see he's got some breathing space on Mazzacane, which is stopping people from being able to play. If Mazzacane was up behind Benaldi, he would be getting upset. You see, behind Michael now, Truly and Button are having a pop at each other. Look at this, here comes the move. We could do with a long shot there, look at that, look. It's like a DRS pass. 2 car lengths ahead in the braking zone. Like passing a lorry on the carriageway, man. Not real race that we haven't even got DRS. I wonder, DRS would it have, I don't know, you know. In this era, they used to complain cars can't pass each other, but there were plenty of passes. It's just an overtake back here, back in these. Did he? Mika again. I mean, Mika got us our first DNF in the last race. But they used to complain about the lack of overtaking back in the day. But there was a fair bit of it. But it was just a different formula. You had the refueling. You know, the cars were much more nimble, but they seem to suffer in dirty air more than they do now. I mean, they always talk about dirty air now, and the cars are so aerodynamic. But back in these times, forever listening to Murray and Martin talking about how cars couldn't follow each other. Here comes Michael. He can follow this guy, and he's going around the outside. He's going to make the same move that he made on the Prost for the lead. And for the first time this season, Michael Schumacher, 14th on the grid, blasts into the lead. And surely they're not going to be able to stop him now. Ralph, his brother, is going with him as best he can. Is Ralph going to run wide here? No, he's not. And he's attacking Button for 5th. So Bernaldi sees his monumental race win. Drift away as Ralph and Jensen continue, the old teammates from last season, continue to fight. And Ralph wins out as we watch Matsukane. Here comes Ralph. The director really likes this Prost. So 11 laps in, and Michael is away, and he will not be troubled. So just to reiterate the reason why I turned off failures, I have made this a full-on sprint because I was able to turn off tyre wear and fuel usage. This is a full-on sprint. I wanted a pelt from the start to the end, because you always complain about in Formula 1, they're managing the tyres, they're managing the fuel, they're doing this, they're managing temperatures, and it's like they don't ever seem to be racing. They always seem to be just cruising around managing something, right? So here I wanted to, you can't do this on 2002 unless you put it on rookie, which I'm not going to do. On 2002 you can turn failures off, but you have to have tyre wear, fuel usage, and the other one on. Damage is on, as you've seen. Damage is on because I want people I want them to crash out, but I want drama, and I want people, because the rule of a DNF putting you at the back is crucial, and I want to see incidents. They're very few and far between on this game, to the point where they damage your car and take you out. You might lose a front wing, and curiously, I think I've seen a couple of people lose their rear wing and just dip in the pits. You know, they just slammed their rear wing on, and they stayed on the lead lap. So you know, the ability of these teams to fix a rear wing these days. So here we go, back to the racing. Trulli and Panis up into the points. Now this is the first time we're seeing really hungry looking BAR, and he's doing the same moves Michael did. And is that Mika Hakkinen? So Mika Hakkinen is, and Coulthard still down at the back. So Ralph now, we have possibly a Schumacher brothers domination for the first time this season, much like in was it Canada of this season, where they finished first and second. Was that the first time that they did? Oh, Matsukane still, as he drifts down the points. Is he now into the hands of... No, because he's been passed by. Is that Button? Button's dropping back. So Button is not doing what I thought he would do. because I thought Button would get ahead. Ralph still battling for third and fourth, so he has not dropped he has not dropped the Benaldi. And now he better do it quickly because Panis won't think twice. Come on, Ralph, you need to get this move done. Everybody else made it look easy. I want you a couple of car lengths ahead into the braking. No. Benaldi chops him off. And that allows Panis to get the position. That's what I was afraid of. Ralph should come straight back at him. Oh. Panis has stolen our second place. He's stolen Ralph's second place. And this can be the problem if you don't get the move done. Can you hear that car alarm in the background? That's the Williams alarm. Ralph, you're losing places. Places being lost. And Juan Pablo, how has Juan Pablo ended up in the points? He was down in 20, and he's nailing Verstappen. So from nowhere, Williams have got both cars in the points. Is that for the second race in a row? This could be crucial. I know we're getting towards the end of the race, but I haven't got the volume up, so I can't hear when they start cheering. Panis has stolen second place, and finally Ralph gets it done, but he lost 2 points. He lost 2 points in the second place. How crucial could that be? And this is what I'm talking about. Necessarily, the fast cars get behind the slow guys. They don't always get the job done, and there goes a sail bar, and they lose out in the meantime. So Ralph had a clear second place. He wasn't quick enough, and Panis mugged him for 2 points. This used to amaze me how the Minardis were kind of like a sort of poor man's McLaren, weren't they? With the livery. It's like very similar livery, very similar configuration, but darker blacks and whiter whites. So this man has literally romped back into the championship. He's probably, given the fact that the Williams are both in the points, and so is Panis, high in the points by the way, he probably isn't quite scoring at a high enough rate yet. But here come the wins. At the end of the day, only Coulthard of the contenders has a win along with him. So Benaldi hanging on to fourth place. His teammates in the points as well. What a drive by Montoya. I mean, Montoya started what Häkkinen had his DNF. Montoya must have started 19th. He's like 5th or 4th. Schumacher put an 11-second gap on Panis, and still pulling away by the way, because he's like a second a lap quicker. Like, this guy's going to take some stopping. So here's your second place man, back to the leader. We're very close to the end of the race now. This must be the last lap. Here comes Michael, surely to win the race. Boom. Back into the series comes Ferrari with aplomb. Panis steals second place from his brother Ralph. Here comes Ralph. And you have Benaldi, Trulli, Mazzacane, Verstappen, and Juan Pablo. Did you end up behind Verstappen? What happened to Juan Pablo in there? I thought he was 4th or 5th. He looks like he's dropped out of the points. Okay. Well, you can't argue with that. That was dominant. He got the job done so quickly, and he wins the race, and he has Panis and Ralph around him on the grid at the back for buddies. at the next race. Rubens and Montoya ended up out of the points, and something he must have ran wide somewhere because he threw away about 4 or 5 places. And here you go, Coulthard then, and Hakkinen DNF'd this race. I thought Hakkinen DNF'd the last race. No, that was it. He spun out on the last lap, didn't he? He spun out on the warm down lap. He got hit by Jordan. So there's your first DNF of the season. And what a brilliant recovery from Michael. Like, he's come back into it now, and the season is alive. So after that exceptional drive from Michael, the championship is well alive, and lots of ties going on there as the last round. So Panis joins him on 13, and as I've said a number of times, watch out for those BARs. Alonso's finally off the top, and he begins to slowly, like the Titanic, plummet down the order. DC running well and has a very good position at the next race, so watch out for him being the first 2 race winner this season. Button hanging in there solid. The 2 Williams now begin to start pushing their way up the standings, and Bernaldi, Frentzen and Irvine hanging in there at the bottom. But still conspicuous by their absence is Hakkinen, Villeneuve and Barrichello. So they will want to be making moves at the next race. In the Constructors' Championship, BAR rise to the top and have a slim 1-point lead over Williams, following on Ferrari from them, and McLaren hit the top 4. So here we have a top 4 that I think is set for the season. Benetton are probably the cut-off, but Benetton can hang around. They probably won't get in amongst that now, but let's see the natures of the circuits. Minardi are probably where the cut-off point really is, but yeah, that top 4, that's probably cemented for the season now. You can see Williams are the first 2 podium holders, and I think watch out for DC at the next race because he has a good position and he clearly has the best chance at getting a second win. Hakkinen, forgive my mistakes in the standings of the last race. Hakkinen's DNF was this race. I confused it with the crash he had after the race in Malaysia, where he was hit by a Jordan on the warm down lap. So the season is coming in. We have 3 races in. We're off to the European season next, although we popped to Canada. It's Imola next, I believe. And yeah, good first 3 races, and we'll see you at San Marino.